Tonight I wish to speak to you of that solitude which comes upon man who dares to trust imagination. For the world believes only in that which it can measure. It bows before appearances. It calls the seen world reality. And so whenever a man dares to assume a condition not yet visible, the world laughs. Scripture tells us, and they laughed him to scorn. Ridicule has never been proof that a thing is false, for man beholds only the state which is now made visible. He cannot see the seed before it flowers. Reason rejects it. Friends question it. The senses oppose it. Yet what man accepts as true in imagination must objectify itself. Now I know something of this personally. Many years ago, when I was a younger man, I went to a teacher seeking instruction. She looked at me, a young man with a thick Barbadian accent. She said to me with absolute coldness, "Your voice and your accent are unsuitable for public speaking. You will never be a speaker." Now, if I had accepted her fact, I would be back in the islands, perhaps working in a grocery store. But I knew that the outer man is a lie. The real man is all imagination, and imagination can assume what the senses deny. So I did not argue with her. I did not try to convince her. I simply began inwardly to occupy the state of the man I desired to be. The world will tell man what he is. It will point to all that is visible and ask you to call it yourself. But man is not what appearances suggest. He is what he believes himself to be. Man does not fail because the world opposes him. He fails because he accepts appearances as final. The assumption comes first. The shadow follows after. Do not try to become it. Assume that you are it. For consciousness is the one and only reality. This whole vast world is but consciousness objectified. Man prays for change, yet inwardly remains what he was. Do not argue with appearances. Dare to assume that which the senses deny, and remain faithful to that assumption. Do not ask the world whether it is possible, for consciousness alone determines the world it is to behold. Now many can follow this teaching so long as it promises improvement in the world of Caesar. They welcome the law when it promises success, money, or help. But the law was never the end. It was only the schoolmaster leading man toward the promise. Not many wish to know who they are, for the promise does not merely change circumstances. It reveals God as man's own wonderful imagination. Years after discovering the law, I experienced that promise. Then Scripture unfolded itself within me. And when it came upon me, it was more real than this room, than this body, than anything the world could show me. I saw David, and he called me Father. It was objective reality of a higher order. It was the fulfillment of all that Scripture had foretold. Now when I spoke of these things, many who had followed me departed. My own brothers laughed when I told them of this birth. They could not receive it. To them it was madness. To me it was Scripture fulfilled. Yet I tell you, the experience was more real than anything the senses could present. Many loved the law while it brought them things, but when I spoke of the promise, they turned away. There were those who believed me sensible, so long as I spoke of success in the world. But when I spoke of imagination as God, they questioned my sanity. They could believe in imagination so long as it produced things. They desired the gifts, but not the giver. And when the giver was revealed as man's own imagination, many departed. Man stands alone when he trusts imagination, for no one around him can see what he has accepted as true. Yet the promise destroys forever the belief that appearances are cause. My friends, truth has never depended upon the approval of the crowd. The prophets were ridiculed. Let him be mocked. Do not descend into argument. Do not seek the approval of men. Keep the imaginal act sacred, for every seed flowers in its appointed hour. What you behold is but the delayed shadow of former states. No planted seed can remain forever unseen. The seed must flower after its kind. If tonight you dare to assume something greater than your present life, the world may call you foolish. Let it call you foolish. As Blake said, if the fool would persist in his folly, he would become wise. Dare to be that fool. Man has always denied what he could not yet see. For the unseen reality was already complete before the world beheld it. Remain faithful to the reality inwardly claimed. Do not return to the visible world for confirmation. And in due season, the unseen reality will become visible. For God is not mocked. Men may deny him, yet he shall come to pass. And the God who cannot be mocked is your own wonderful human imagination.